What is going on, my friend? Welcome to the Josh and Ashlee Show, the only show for entrepreneur families who want to change the world, who feel like they have a mission, a mandate, a purpose, and a destiny, and we want to have fun and talk about all kinds of weird things. I'm joined by my high school sweetheart, married to 20 years, 5 kids, built and exited 4 companies. Ashlee, how are you over there, sweetie?
I am doing so great this morning. I have to say this out front, though. I have to be honest. The enemy, the devil, we're just going to say the devil, Satan, didn't want me to be here today, everybody. Lots of things were coming up against me, but I was like, Jesus is going to show up today. And like Maverick said, we had a puking kid, a tornado, a shelter,
Literally.
rain, and we had to run to Kroger, and Maverick said, Mom, I actually feel very safe with you in the grocery store because I know you and a can of beans. We'll go. Tornado's got nothing on us. We'll go down in a blaze of glory. So
Gotta
I'm
make
here
sure
for
you have
it.
a can opener, though, or else the beans will do you no good. Hey, did you hear? One of the first things I want to talk about was this morning, driving here, I heard a story about Jeff Bezos. He bought this gigantic boat, a yacht, but it's like a mega next level yacht. And I also have a guy who's a small business owner who just sold a boat because his business is struggling, and he's like, and so he wrestled with like getting rid of his boat. And boats aren't exactly investments, but imagine buying a $500 million boat. And then as I dug deeper into it, check this out, and I'm curious what people think about this. First of all, is that the pinnacle of decadence? Does it not matter? Because on the one hand, he's creating jobs. But we'll talk about that in a second. But the boat's so big that they couldn't get it from the shipyard into the open ocean without dismantling a historical bridge. And this actually isn't a new story. I just never heard of it. It's several months old. Maybe Jarrett can pull up and see if the thing made it to open ocean yet or not. But basically, the townspeople were like, no, this is bullcrap. Like, just because you're this rich guy, you don't get to dismantle our town's historical bridge so your freaking decadent yacht can go out to the ocean. I'm curious everybody's thoughts on that, including Maverick's thoughts and Jarrett and you, Ash. What do you think?
Didn't they throw eggs at it? That was an excellent idea. I just wanted to do a dad joke. Bad dad joke,
That's what the threat was. They said that they're going to go stand out there and throw eggs at it, but I don't know if that happened or not.
It says that the city did decide that they won't dismantle the historic bridge.
Okay.
way to go,
How
townspeople.
old is that article?
It was from this summer, so I don't know if they've changed their mind. But that's the first article that I found that was at the top. It says that they will not be doing it for him.
Do you think it's a good idea that they will not?
I mean,
Yes.
I'm a systems person, so to me, I'm like, you should have thought way far ahead in
Amen.
advance, big picture. like what were you thinking building a boat that's not going to fit under a bridge on one side of it in order to get to the other side? Like,
Yeah. Well, it's like 135 feet tall with the masts up. It has 3 giant sails.
I think Bezos should be pissed too. I'm sorry, the P word. I won't say
you
that
could
anymore.
definitely
Forgive me.
pay to dismantle it enough to get under the bridge, in my opinion.
But what about the argument that this ship company, and I don't know how far this bridge is from the shipping company, but look at all the jobs that were created, right? I mean, we get mad at rich people. Aren't they driving the economy? They're buying all this stuff. They're buying cars. They buy more cars than everybody else. Lots of people are involved in the supply chain of making cars. Why is it so bad that people spent lots of money when it's really good economically when anyone spends a bunch of money? The whole reason there's a freaking recession right now is because spending slows down.
Yeah, but
So
no.
isn't it easy to be like, oh, screw the rich guy?
But you shouldn't be like dismantling other people's things
Well, it
to
said-
get your rich things.
it
So
said
you
that it
cannot
was-
take down a bridge. Just for 500 million, you could just make a new way. Just buy up a whole houses, make a new like canal, Bezos. Come on, don't be ruining people's bridges.
So it says the bridge was damaged during World War II, and so they had to fix it at some point. And so between 2014 and 2017, it underwent restoration. So it was just like recently fixed. And they said after that, they will never dismantle it again
I
after
know.
they fixed it.
See, this way to go, town. I'm on Team Town. Everybody.
I just feel like it's so
I feel
easy to
bad
be
for-
on Team Town. Like, it's no one's. Of course, everyone's going to agree with you. I'm trying to take a counterintuitive look at it. I don't think the town should be forced to do it. I just think it's interesting that the town people are like, no, screw you for spending lots of money and helping our local economy.
Okay.
Or maybe regional. I don't know how far the shipyard is from the town.
Okay.
But
There's a lot of conclusions. We got to jump to conclusions, Matt out. So I'm just going to jump on mine. Okay. I feel like the bridge, it's not just about the bridge. The bridge has a meaning. It has a purpose. It's like an anthem for the town, it sounds like. So if I'm Bezos, I'm also mad, but I would be mad at the company who built it, who didn't say, red flag here, everybody. It's going to be a little too tall for the bridge. The bridge, they've known it's been there since World War II. It's not like a new bridge, not a new problem.
I got
So-
something
That's
that's
true.
going to
That's true.
blow your mind. So
Yeah.
it says Amazon founder Jeff Bezos' big fancy new boat slipped silently from its berth at a Dutch shipyard in the wee hours of Tuesday morning. This was back in August, without needing to dismantle any major historical pieces of infrastructure. Instead, the mega super yacht was towed a little out of its way to another shipyard without its mast. Apparently, that was always an option.
Oh my goodness. Now I'm really Team Town.
They just had to take the
Are
masts
you-
off. That's it.
No, he went through a different shipyard.
Yeah, they towed it to a different shipyard and then installed the mast, but it was fine because it fit without the
so
mast
there's-
on it.
It's a false start. Doesn't
Yeah,
matter. It's all good.
it was probably just he wanted everybody to know that he got this big yacht that was super
That's
tall.
it.
That's
It was-
100% what
It was marketing.
It was
Everything.
marketing, Bezos. I used to think you were way low on the food chain of marketing. But that was an Elon moment.
They did it at 3 a.m, so nobody else was gonna really see. Nothing was gonna happen, but they got it quietly slipped out at 3 a.m.
I did read that it costs $25 million a year in operating costs for this boat.
How would they know that it hasn't operated yet?
Well, they know how many staff members will have, the fuel efficiency, depending on where they're
They-
taking it. You can estimate it.
So wait, they knew all that, but they didn't know it was going to
No,
have to
that's-
go
I
under a
think to-
historical bridge.
No, to your point, they definitely knew, and it's maybe a marketing play. Everything is marketing, and marketing is everything. I think all this stuff is so fascinating to me, and in a way, like, how is it different if Jeff Bezos gets a $500 million boat, okay, and then the whole world talks about it, like, he got a boat, like, he's a jerk. Okay, I'm not a fan of him, by the way, but how is that any different than you watching this, going and buying a brand new car that tons of people could never in a million years imagine affording? Should they be mad at you because you did that? Are you a productive, contributing member of society? Maybe you should have a parade thrown for being a productive contributor to society, right? Like, why don't we slow clap someone that dumps that much money back into skilled trades and labor in the supply chain and steel and all this stuff? For all these companies, thousands and thousands of people are involved in it. Why is it so bad? It just feels easy and lazy to get mad at people who have way more than we do. That's my
Okay,
point.
well, I was never mad that it was a $500 million boat. Just so we're clear. So I'm not jealous of Bezos. I think let's just be honest. Bezos can spend that and he's not even going to blink. He probably didn't even know he bought a $500 million boat, if we're really being honest. Like, he's just like, oh, I like that one. That one's great. And someone probably designed it and was like, this is the Bezos boat.
No, that's not how that works.
You
Just so you know, they're like into it. This is a thing. It's this little secret culture of boat things. Like, they're always
Oh
trying to
my
one
gosh.
up each other. Like, the biggest yacht in the world was a couple years old. Then this one. Now that guy's mad, so he's going to
So
sell
it's a
it.
flex.
Well, and I heard an interview with someone that works on these super yachts, and they said that all of them are always for sale. Okay, because they want to design and build the next one, and it's this little, like, you know what, measuring contest.
You would not
between
be a
rich
yacht
people.
person.
No, I mean, yeah,
You're
it's a horrible thing.
You
to buy.
get very seasick.
I don't think you get seasick on a 500-foot long one though.
Okay, but you want to know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the marketing genius of Bodie McBoatface.
Bodie McBoatface. We should talk about Bodie McBoatface. So, hey, have you ever heard of Bodie McBoatface? Okay, this was a tens of millions of dollar research vessel from somewhere in Europe, and they got the bright idea to let the public name the boat. Okay, now I always say that marketing is everything and everything is marketing, and this seems like a good idea, but what happened was the internet. People could pick a name, and the name that got the most votes would win. And they committed to naming this like $72 million. Hey, Jared, if you could look up Bodie McBoatface, how much did that cost for that boat? But I think it was like 50 or 70 or 30 million. It was a lot. I don't remember. The point, though, is that this is why the internet's amazing. The top comment, the top name was Bodie McBoatface, right? So
You're playing a
all-
risky game
all
when
of
you
these
have
scientists that are like passionate about their craft and the data and the scientific method, and they're like, we'll call it the scientific research, platinum boat or something. And then some dude drinking a Miller Lite sitting on his couch is like, Bodie McBoatface. Boom, viral. And they had to name it. Now, I did hear that they changed the name back, which is lame. Whoever did
No.
that, lame.
It was
You
like
shoulda owned it.
a 1 year Bodie McBoatface or something. It was like,
Yeah, that's so dumb. They're
That-
dumb. They don't understand that marketing's everything. Everything's marketing. If they're smart, there would be Bodie McBoatface merch all over the world, right? People could rally behind a research vessel called Bodie McBoatface.
I feel like I want merch now. I
$263 million.
Oh, I was way off. $263 $163 million boat named Bodie McBoatface.
What's its new name? What's its new name? It doesn't even matter. It's irrelevant. Never mind that I even asked because you will never have a name as great as Bodie McBoatface ever again.
Well, some of the other things we want to talk about today on the Josh and Ashlee Show are some psychological tips that will help you in your daily life with employees, with your family. It's really interesting. We'll do that in a little bit. And we're also going to talk about the merchant of death. I'm sure you've heard about the amazing work that Joe Biden and his genius team has pulled off by doing a prisoner swap with the sovereign nation of Mother Russia. And we basically, I don't know if you want to explain this, but it's not funny, but it's hilarious. But it's like terrifying. Unpack it. What happened?
Well, I think everybody, if you've been on the planet, been on any social media, you know that the United States traded a basketball player for the Merchant of Death, which I don't know if this is marketing genius or the worst marketing. I mean, we don't win. We have someone who is in charge of, I don't even know how many deaths, but look at that mustache. That mustache alone is marketing, everybody.
Yeah,
he looks like he should be on
Death
chips.
Picture real
like,
quick.
I feel like his stare could kill you. And now we let him out in the public? What?
I don't know if we went in the public. Is he just going to go to prison over there instead of
No.
prison here? How does it
No,
work? What
he's
are
a
the
free
details?
citizen.
Okay. Well,
I'm pretty sure, not unless they're going to he probably was in there getting dates. He was getting the details of the U.S. and then now he's going to spill the beans.
the thing that made me mad about it was when I heard that, okay, so some of the Russian officials apparently said that they gave the United States a choice. It's a one-for-one swap. This is what I heard. Tell me if this is nuts or if I'm wrong. Okay, I didn't spend 7 hours on this. But I'm not surprised. And the Biden administration got the chance to pick one of the prisoners that they have of ours in exchange for one of the prisoners that we have of theirs. And we have what's the guy's name that's a soldier that's been over there
Paul.
for quite a while? Paul Whelan. We picked this WNBA player who hates America instead of the soldier in exchange for an international arms dealer. And what universe could that? I was trying to think okay, what's the angle of the Democrats? Just I don't know. I mean, I know some people are really happy to get her back, and I don't think she should be locked up for having a vape pen or whatever she had. I mean, that's insane. But if you get a one-for-one exchange, that's just the worst negotiating I've ever seen in my life. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's embarrassing. It makes me terrified for our country that we get the person that hates America, that had the vape pen, that is just a train wreck of a human being in exchange for that. It makes me nervous for the state of the world.
Let's just say this man looks like he should be in a Rocky Balboa. Like when we fought the Russian, this man drinks vodka with his breakfast, everybody.
Colin DeHaan said, what are we talking about? The WNBA makes so much money. It's a good segue, actually, so thank you for that, Colin, because women's pay gap, Ash. Let's talk about that for a second. It ties in nicely.
We're just going to go there,
okay? Well, it doesn't exist, but do you think it exists? Do women get paid less for doing the exact same thing that's done by a person with a penis?
No, I think people think that. I think that I'm going to preface it with that I think women have overcome a lot of things in the last 50, 60 years, right? To keep on banging the same drum, there's opportunities.
This is what happened. We let the women drive and vote, and now it's just out of control. And
there are real countries still. There are real countries that treat women like actual dogs. So to say that you don't have the same advantages or rights in the United States is redonkulous. Actually, I would say that you get more rights here than anywhere in the world. I think as I've lived in a foreign country, you find out really quickly how blessed of a nation. I think
Are we still talking about a pay gap?
We are, but I'm just
Keep
trying
it on
to I'm
point.
trying to represent for all the women because I think if we go here it's going to be a little weird. I do think some women still are in the shadow, but not in the United States. The pay gap is
There is no doubt that women are traded like commodities and treated like animals in a lot of the world. What I'm talking about is a professional female soccer player that complains that she doesn't make as much as the male soccer player. Not to mention the fact that did you know a high school soccer team from Australia beat the women's national team.
Stop. That's
Okay?
amazing.
That's a whole other part of this conversation, but it has to do with value creation. This prisoner swap between the merchant and death her, this was not an equal value exchange.
No.
That's my point. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, can I say something? I will say something. I will tell you that now, as a business owner and as an entrepreneur, I understand the value. The reason why the NBA makes more money is because they have more fans, they have more merch. Like, it's something people want to see, everybody. It has nothing to do with their parts. It has to do with the amount of money they produce. It has to do with
Exactly.
the value
Just
creation.
basic economics. I mean, you can't force the world to like watching the WNBA. They just don't like it as much because it's not as fun to watch, period. And if the economics ever changed, men aren't being screwed over if people want to watch that instead of the other one.
No.
I think it's all crazy, and professional athletes are, generally speaking, massive crybabies in a lot of respects.
Wow.
It's a symptom of a decadent empire on the brink, in my opinion. Like all this stuff. Our nation is. There's a lot of reasons to be really, really nervous, and some people hate that. And I am an optimistic person in general, but there's a lot of we got to pray for our country. We need to pray, and not just pray for our country that someone else saves the day. And look externally for the solution, but we have to show up different in our homes, different to our staff, with our employees. We have to show up different to our kids and our marriages. We need to hold together our marriages, which is the building blocks of a society. You know, America's done more good in the world in a lot of ways overall than probably any nation in history. But we're also the wickedest, and there's so many dark parts. And I think the general average person sits around online and complains about things that don't matter, producing nothing of value, and that's really bad because you can't survive like that forever. And not just like the economics and inflation and money creation and all the stuff with the Federal Reserve and all that, just the morality and the moral decay of our nation. It's really bad. Now, I think there's opportunities in that. For certain people.
You brought it around. I thought you were going this way, but you brought it around, and I think, amen to you.
Well, the reason I get mad at the women doing that is because, to me, you're only allowed to do that because of the excessive blessing and luxury you have in the first place. Like the irony of it, right? To complain about getting paid anything to kick a ball around as a man or a woman, especially a woman, right? And being glorified for it. And then to go on TV and be like, well, I wanted more than that. And then the men's team gave money to the women's team. Did you hear this? They just gave money, like subsidized, just pure socialism. Like, here, we feel bad. If I was on the women's team, I would be embarrassed. I'd be like, no, we have to earn it. We have to be better. We have to be better marketers. We have to get people to actually watch this. We have to sell more merch. We have to go create more value. It's embarrassing that they even received and took the money from the man.
I didn't even know they did this.
The irony that the men are like, it's okay, baby, I got you. It gives money to the girls' team.
Oh, no.
But my point is it's funny. It's funny, but it's sad at the same time.
Oh, man, babe. I didn't know that happened. That is pretty bad. And I actually just think it shows something. You highlighted Bezos today and being like mad about his yacht. And now we're having. Like,
I'm not mad about his yacht.
No, I know you're not mad about his yacht. Yacht. Blah, blah. There we go. There's a blooper for y'all. But I would say I think we're actually talking about something that we don't talk about is jealousy and being content with where you're at. Now, I don't know how much a WNBA player makes, but makes more than the average American probably.
Yes.
But for somehow they rallied. They did a great marketing to rally all the women up and get all butthurt about this. But really, they're just jealous of what another person makes.
Yeah, it's just jealousy.
It's
The
jealousy.
average is $102,000 a year.
Okay.
So it's not tons, but you get to do what you love.
It's better than working at Starbucks. Better than a poke in the eye. It's pretty cool to be able to play a game and get paid at all.
And travel all around the world.
And people, NFL players used to make way less, even 20 years ago. I mean, way, 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 way less. But it's because the monetization of the sport was way, way less. The sport didn't generate as much. So, it is what it is.
That's way less, though.
It's a victim mentality.
Now I'm rallying for all the women. I'm like, 102,000. Wait, I thought this was millions we were talking about. I'm butthurt again. See how it can just get you like.
But it's because they
playing
only
with
have
emotions.
dozens of fans, Ash. There's dozens. That's about it.
I understand.
No one watches it.
But now she's going to make millions going on tour saying, we got the merchant of basketball, everybody. Instead of the merchant of death with Mr. Mustache over there. Don't worry. Oh, man.
Hey Maverick, how you doing back there, buddy?
Good. This is fun.
I mean, you don't have to speak out of turn or like pretend to know things that you're not sure about, but do you have any thoughts either about Merchant of Death, about the decadent society we live in, or about Jeff Bezos's boat? What are you thinking?
I'm only 15, so most people would like downplay like a 15-year-old and say, "Oh, you're just a kid." And even I'm smart enough to know that that's probably one of the dumbest deals in history.
Put your camera on yourself. I can't see you.
Oh yeah, I got a camera now. Yeah, so that's probably one of the most confusing things I've probably ever heard of. Yeah, it is that, folks. And it's kind of breaking my brain because there's so much. To be honest, I'm all confused. Like literally, this is breaking my brain. How the person that we were like, yeah, this is the person to lead a nation, is trading basketball players for arms dealers. Like,
I think it sounds so much better coming from a 15-year-old.
Oh man, such a good perspective. Did you have more? I didn't mean to cut you off. It was just so funny.
Not really. I mean, Jeff Bezos. I think that's pretty Jeff Bezos of him to get a bowl because he made a rocket just on the side. Nobody even knew about it until it happened, and then when it did happen, everybody made fun of him for it.
Because
So
it looked like a wiener.
Well, and he wore a cowboy hat and he looked like Dr.
Oh
Evil.
my gosh.
It was like an Austin Powers movie, everybody.
It feels like we're living in guided reality TV show. Can you pull up a picture of Jeff Bezos's rocket? I won't say anything inappropriate. I just want people to see a picture of it because this billionaire guy running around, and there's also a picture of him wearing a mechanized robot suit that's like terrifying. And then he buys a $500 million yacht, tries to tear down this historic bridge to get his yacht into the ocean, and of course makes a very inappropriate looking rocket on the side and shoots up into space. What else is there to do?
You know what's fascinating, though? We're talking about Bezos, and we like to talk about Elon. We always talk about Elon, right? So now we're talking about Bezos. But there's definitely different vibes about Elon and Bezos. Like there's
Big time. Well, I
there's
think Bezos
marketing vibes.
hates regular people because they all don't like him. I mean, he's not a likable. He has a punchable face type of vibe going on. He just does.
Just say Bezos has a punchable
It's not like I
face.
would do that. I'm not advocating that's good. I'm just saying he's got this really arrogant kind of thing. And then Elon, on the other hand, is more. He's like a true artist in the sense of, like, for example, when Elon Musk sold PayPal or his stake in PayPal, he got $180 billion. He put all of it into Tesla and SpaceX, these next projects, all of it. You know, he's just here for the party. I think right now he's living in a tiny little house in Austin.
I think he was living at Twitter headquarters. He has a cot.
He's not some, god. He's just a guy, but he's more respectable because he's like a worker and a builder, and he would sleep on the assembly line floor, and they almost went bankrupt a bunch of times. And he already had more money than most people could ever imagine. And he rolled all of it into these other things to try to help you. Now,
And he kind of
there's-
seems like he's for the people. Like he's trying to do the Twitter files and all the things. We're not supposed to talk about Elon today, but he does feel like he's for the people. Is that marketing though? That's my question.
No, I think he is, but there's other things he does that are absolutely unacceptably terrifying to me. Like there ain't no Neuralink going in my brain. Okay, I don't care what kind of people's champion Elon becomes. That's going to walk us down a horrifying road. I can't imagine why people want to do that, but it's going to be marketed for children and disabled.
He's going to put it in his kid first.
It's just it scares the crap out of
Awful.
me personally. I'd curious comments. Are you going to get a Neuralink? You going to embed some chips in your brain? What do you think?
Please
you
no.
watching this? You going to put it in your brain? Like type it. I can see your comment. That's not good. I also not sure about like what's the satellite company he has? What's it called?
A Starlink?
Starlink. Yeah.
Oh, that's creepy looking.
Well, it's
Seen
it's
it.
like really great bringing internet to all over the world, but it's also like feels like we're getting put in this grid of this like net, like they're fishing because they're going to be able to see every single person at every single time and where everything is all the time. Everything will be tracked. There's eyes in the skies. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of satellites up there, and maybe a little conspiracy theory brain happening right now, but
Sure, the rocket.
it's yeah. Show Jeff Bezos's villain rocket. Okay, that's a good angle for it. That makes it look not as bad as the other angle.
Don't forget, he also released and sold miniature models of them too. So
He
that
did?
was also a thing that happened.
He sold what?
Miniature models of that rocket.
Oh man, it feels like a cartoon. We're living an episode of The Simpsons or something.
No, I feel like that's Austin Powers. We're in Austin Powers. No, if we're going to talk about anybody who's Austin Powers, have you ever seen who Carl Schwab is? That
Oh
guy.
yeah.
He's
Oh yeah.
he's
He's a cartoon character.
he's Dr. Evil. But you highlighted on something that I think I just want to wrap it up with. Is that okay, babe?
Yeah, sure.
Not wrap up the show. I'm just saying. You hinted that it starts in our homes. It starts with us. And it's like when all this crazy bad stuff is happening, you see like almost like the remnant of God. You see these scrappy entrepreneur, Jesus loving people, and you're like, there's hope in this world because they're raising their families like black sheep. They're going against the grain culturally, and there's actually hope. I think there's hope. Now, is the world maybe burning? Maybe, but there are people out there. There are good, godly people who are trying to change the world, and they're starting in their home. And that's like starting to become the new movement. The new rebel movement is
Yep.
old fashioned, ancient principled people who are trying to change the world.
Yeah, it's not old fashioned, it's ancient. That's a shout out to Josh Fierstein. I just love it when he says that. I want to read one of Rebecca Kelly's comments.
Okay.
She said, seriously, women making more money is not about that they should just be paid the same as men. It's about the value created. I don't watch a lot of sports, but generally men's sports are just better to watch and there's more value created there. So there are more fans, more tickets sold, therefore more money to be made. Think of that indoor women's football league. These ladies are
I didn't even know
crazy.
there was one.
They're crazy intense for sure, but they feel the need to wear hardly anything with a few shoulder pads. They basically wear underwear and play football, and it's
So the only way
objectified.
the only way you
and
can
then,
get
and then Leslie,
fans.
Bridget said, "No chip in my brain."
Amen, girl. Amen. No chip in my brain either. Sorry, Elon.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about some psychological tips or the recession 2023 and how to crush it while everybody else crumbles? Do you want to crush it while people crumble? I don't want people to crumble, but it's going to happen. It's just a fact. Do you want to crush it while they crumble? Do you want to talk about that next?
Sure.
Recession 2023. Look, it's here. It's happening. Weird stuff's going on. There's opportunity everywhere. But it's an opportunity for all of us to level up and to learn how to think asymmetrically and how to think outside the box. In fact, maybe there is no box. Maybe we need to burn the box. Maybe there never even was a box. Open your eyeballs, activate your reticular activating system so you can see opportunities to level up, to tighten up your business, to compete at a higher level. I heard Nicholas Bayerly actually is the guy I first heard say, pressure doesn't create cracks, it exposes them. And I'm like, duh! And so I've been saying, recessions don't create failures, they expose failure. So does that mean I'm heartless and it's impossible that an external factor can take out a business? No, but don't be the dummy that focuses on the 1% of the time, okay? There's anomaly things that happen. The Bible says it rains on the just and the unjust alike. Like bad things do happen to good people, but you have to take what's inside of your control and optimize it. You have to prepare, right? Like the Bible says a wise man sees danger ahead and prepares himself. A fool does nothing and suffers for it. Which one are you going to be? Which one are you going to be? Come on, don't be the fool. So you don't have to be a Harvard, MIT grad, genius, Ivy League person to prepare yourself for the recession. Here's my 4-step formula. They're all D words. See what I did there? It's called alliteration. You can use it in copywriting to make more money. But you have to develop. Step 4, you have to deploy. Develop and deploy. That's a shout out to my man Riley Meek. He's done over 9 figures. Is he a genius? Yeah, kinda. But he's just like the rest of us, except he's developed and went deep on certain nuances in his businesses. This guy sold $25 million worth of walk-in bathtubs, okay? Walk-in bathtubs. Imagine you right now as you are, and I'm like, hey, go sell some walk-in bathtubs. You're like, okay, and you do it, and you sell one, and it's 10 grand, right? And you sell another one. 25 million. Small business owners need to look at your systems, right? First thing you got to do before we even do that, though, is you have to decide that you're not going to be a victim to the circumstance, that you're going to find a way to weather through and then capitalize on the opportunities presented to you. So you got to decide. The real definition of decision is to like cut off all other options, right? Decision means to kill other possibilities and say, I'm going to win. I'm not going to try. I'm not going to play small. I'm going to win. I'm going to awaken the competitive giant that's inside me and not be walking in fear. You have to decide that first. The next thing you have to do is decree it. You have to call your shot. You have to make it real. You have to make it a thing. What specifically is going to happen for you next year? And you might have imposter syndrome and you might feel like not certain that it will happen, but you're going to have to use your little courage, which means doing what you know is right while you feel the little fear inside of you. You got to use that and decree it and call your shot. Print it out on a piece of paper. Make it the background of screensaver on your phone. Put it on the dashboard of your car. Tape it on the mirror where you brush your teeth. Tell your wife, tell your grandma, print it out. Put it in your office. Make it real. Decree it. Call your shot. Say, I'm going to do this. I'm going to lay everything I got on the field. I've decided. I'm going to decree it, right? Then you have to develop it. Develop means look at your business as it stands now. Because I can promise there's a 0% chance it's actually optimized. There's a 0% chance you've maxed out all the possibilities to extract more money, profit, and revenue and opportunity in your company. It's not possible, but it's going to take you developing and pushing pause and using your brain to discover these things. You make more money with your brain than you ever will with your back. Can I get an amen? So look at your business. There's only 5 parts to every single business. That's it. You have lead generation. You have lead nurture. Like, what do you say after you have a lead to these people? You have conversion, meaning they give you money for something that you sell. Then you have delivery. This is the part small business owners are good at. They're good at baking the bread. They're good at cleaning the window and the carpet and building the retaining wall. They're good at this. But are you good at lead generation, lead nurture, and sales and conversion? This is, and then this one, we forget altogether. How do we resell, upsell, cross-sell, and ascend our customers to make them more valuable to us? Every business has these same 5 things, and you got to develop better systems, better processes, more asymmetrical thinking inside these 5 categories. And then last but not least is to deploy it, meaning to do it. Some people sit on their computer for weeks strategizing, building spreadsheets and models. You know, how fun is it, by the way, to use a spreadsheet and be like, ooh, if I click this button, that says I make $27 million, and it gives you dopamine. But nothing's happened. You didn't actually do anything. You have to go talk to people and shake hands and kiss babies and do things that scare you. You have to try stuff, and it will fail. Elon shot rockets up to space, but before that happened, he had a whole bunch of them explode and almost bankrupt his company. I don't want that to happen to you, but failure is a part of it. When you deploy things, bad things happen. It's feedback, and then you keep going. That's my thoughts.
Well, I have two things to add to that. First off, you said everybody loves spreadsheets. My personality type does not love spreadsheets, just so you know. So you didn't have me there, but spreadsheets are important. I understand where you were going with that, but yeah. But anyways, decree night. When you were talking about decree, I was thinking about how we have decree night, and we actually have a document that we built for decree night. So if you would like a document that we built, I think we even have a picture of it. Don't we have a picture of it in the queue? Can you show what Decree Night 2023?
They should have it.
Decree 2023 looks like. I'm waiting for it to come up. Is it there?
No,
it's not.
We do not have it right now.
Oh,
well, we'll
that's
get it to
okay.
you.
We'll get it to you. But if you would like a decree, just type in Decree 2023 in the comments, and we will make sure that you get that. Now, we're going to talk about Decree Night real quick, because last year, you know, we're a big family systems people. Huge. It's how our marriage got saved, how our kids are normal, and all of the things. Maybe they're not normal. They're not normies.
What do you mean it's how our kids are normal?
I didn't
What
mean
does that even
normal.
mean?
I just meant like
It's
this
how
is
we're
how
raising world-changing kids.
Yes, I
that
don't know why
things
I
other
use
people don't know, that can do things that other people can't do. Not because they're better, just because we've been intentional about making it a priority.
I'm sorry. My mouth got really excited. Anyways, so we started doing systems. Systems radically change your life. And one of the systems that we did was family goal night. And we do it on New Year's Eve, and we celebrate and we talk about the year that we had, and then we do goals. But last year we did decree night with our business partners, the Fiersteins, and it was so powerful. It was beautiful and epic, and we even had a wax seal, and we decreed before the Lord what we were going to do and the action we were going to take. And so we have those, and decree night was so powerful. And so if you would like to decree 2023 with your family, type in decree 2023. Oh, here it comes up on the screen, everybody. That's what it kind of looks like right
It's
there.
a little piece of paper. We'll give you a PDF. And this isn't like a funnel or anything. It's just what we do, and we find a lot of value in it, because calling your shot is really important for like tons of reasons. Like, how are you going to believe something if you can't declare it? You can't just think it. You got to decree it. You got to get it out. You know, there's life and death in the power of the tongue. You know, words have the power to create and destroy. Saying things out loud, writing it down, and putting it out there is a very, very powerful thing for your own brain, as well as an act of faith. What do you want to happen next year? Because Recession 2023 is real. It's not fake. It's not a figment of your imagination. It will affect different parts of the country differently. It will affect different industries differently. There's zero reason to live in fear, but it's also idiotic to not prepare. It's silly to not strategize. Make sure you have a little more cash. Make sure that you pay off debt without depleting all of your cash. Some people get so obsessed with paying off debt that they leave themselves with absolutely no cash. And then when one thing goes wrong, you're back in debt. And it's this infinity loop, right? Get around people that are higher achievers than you. Perform surgery on negative relationships that you have, people that are holding you back. Start looking at your competitors. Why couldn't you buy out some of your competitors who are asleep at the wheel? You could. Doesn't mean you have to pay a lot of money for it. Maybe you can learn contract negotiation, deal structure. These are books. You can read them. You can watch YouTube videos. Look, there are a lot of people dumber than you that already have what you want. It's one of my favorite quotes. You don't have to be a genius, but you got to call your shot to get the ball in motion. I'm excited for a lot of people this next year. But I'm going to be sick to my stomach too, because a lot of people even watch this. You're going to kind of just like make, it's okay. And then when there's a slowdown, when the leads slow down, you make one or two bad moves, you're going to get stuck. Your business can fall apart really, really quick, depending on how you're set up financially. Yeah.
There is no better than to call your shot in front of your family, because it also gets you on the same page, moving in the right direction. And it's like a rally cry for your family. Now, we like sealed it with wax seals and did all this stuff, but I'm going to just say something that I really truly believe. A lot of people make goals and then they share them with people. Like talking about the putting your pearls before swine. Your goals should make normies feel a little uncomfortable. Your normie friends should be scared by your goals. So maybe you shouldn't share them with them, but your goals need to be big. Don't be just like, I hope that I get one. Let me give you an example.
Keep talking about that. I'm going to be right back.
My daughter, she had, this is going to be emotional. This is going to be really, so my daughter for decree night, she is 5 years old now, but she was 4. And she had really horrible allergies to 5 things. And I helped her write out her decree because she doesn't know how to write. And one of the things that she put on there is that she wanted to get healed of her allergies. She wanted no more allergies. And I was like, okay. Like, she just believed with faith that she was going to have no more allergies. And then underneath that, she said she wanted to eat ice cream. Because homegirl can't eat normal ice cream, or at least she couldn't eat normal ice cream. And when you're putting these decrees out, I'm going to be honest. For a moment, I was a normie. I was like, ooh, now we can set goals, but we were decreeing this before the Lord that she was going to get healed of allergies. And it wasn't even 45 days later, she got healed of allergies at a revival. And that girl has ate so much ice cream in 2023. It's like, stop. Her veins must be full of ice cream now. You didn't.
There you go, babe. That's a gift for you.
Oh, my gosh.
So we were on date night at HEB. Shout out to all the Texans with HEB. Apparently that's a thing. And you saw some flowers that said designer dozen, remember?
Uh-huh.
And you said, that's marketing. It's called designer dozen. It's not just a dozen, which is what it is. It's a designer dozen. It's also a D word and a D word, which flows off the tongue like word butter. And so I thought, you know what? You deserve some nice flowers.
Did you think
You
this?
are a
Or
delicate flower.
Did Jarrett think this? Because
That's neither here nor there.
no, there is a backstory that's gold.
The important thing is that you are my
I do
flower.
love them. You did such a good job. Okay, can I tell you the backstory of these?
Yeah, it's all Jarrett. Let's be honest.
Okay, but it's not all Jarrett. It's
Okay.
Brant Thurgood. And you're probably like,
Actually,
what
it was
is
Autumn.
Autumn?
Sneaky, sneaky.
Autumn is a unicorn.
Autumn made it happen.
So we were on a unicorn squad call, which is a level up program for entrepreneur wives. And we were on the call, and she's like, oh, there's somebody at the door. I got to go get it. And her anniversary was coming, and she came back with these flowers. He had them delivered to her during the squad pod. And I just gushed. There's a picture of my face. I'll like maybe tag it below. And I'm just like, what? And I like oohed and ahhed. I was like, oh my gosh, could you like tell Josh? And Brant came on and was like, I think I should tell Jarrett because Jarrett will help get it done. And then,
It's very true.
Then this weekend, Jarrett was like, I'm trying to get my girlfriend some flowers. Where should I go? And I'm like, the HEB, because they have the designer dozen. I didn't know that they were coming for me. And then today I talked to Jared. I was like, was that really for Katie or was that for me? And he didn't say anything. So
Well, we
thank
hope you like them. We
It-
love you, and it's funny and a good story, and you deserve them.
Entrepreneurs, just so you are very clear, your wife wants the flowers on a Tuesday. She does. No matter if Brant and Autumn had to tell Jarrett to tell Josh to buy the HEB flowers, she wants them. And they still make her feel like a freaking $1,000,000. Like, I love these. I'm so happy about it. I don't even care how they came. I'm just so happy. You brought them in, your sweet little nectar face. Eat you up. This.
We have to pause this broadcast. We'll be back in 2 minutes.
Purple
I told
unicorn.
Autumn that we were gonna do it during the Josh and Ashley show, so she's probably watching.
Oh, Autumn, thank you. I love them. I'm obsessed with them.
They are. They're like the coolest people ever. So as we get ready to land the plane, I got to switch topics a little bit, Ash, if that's cool. We're going to talk about some cool psychology tips that are just super interesting that you will love because it's amazing and you can use it in your business and at home with your kids, parenting, marriage, dating, anything. But before I do that, I want to talk about Wealthy Winter, wealthywinter.com. If you're a service business, you've seen a bunch of people posting all over the internet, the wealthywinter.com thing. And what is it? And how can I check it out? Well, it's just a free thing you can watch that has a bunch of ideas and tips. It's for home service business owners. I know not everybody that watches this is that. But if you are, go to wealthywinter.com and register. And it's a whole day-long live event, basically, with different ways, tools, tactics, strategies, and things you can do to make more money, pivot your business, add additional services. There's things you can do in the winter because a lot of home services have, they're fighting seasonality every single year. It can be very frustrating. So there's no reason to not do that. I just want to make sure that I said that. So go to Wealthy Winter. I keep wanting to say Winter Wealthy, but it's wealthywinter.com. You'll see a little video of me on there. And there's just a whole bunch of people involved in this. It was a whole big project. And thanks to everybody that participated in it. It's about to go live here pretty soon. So go over there before you forget or write it down. There's the website right there. Scroll around. Yeah, it doesn't scroll. It's just a screenshot. That's okay. That's what the webpage looks like. Register, sign up. It's going to be super cool. And now, Ashley, are you ready for the psychological thing? The first one is one that you know already.
Uh-oh.
It's called a forced choice close.
Oh, the forced choice close has gotten me into some. You ladies, you need to know this. Entrepreneurs, you need to know this for your customers and your wives. Wives, you need to know this for your husband because a forced choice close is very powerful in relationship and in business.
Yeah, for sales, for persuasion in general, people want to do yes or no questions. And they're not that effective. Either or questions are more effective. You can't get everybody to do what you want all the time, but you can greatly increase the amount of times people do what you want by using a forced choice either or set of questions rather than just a binary black and white up or down yes or no question. Instead of saying, do you want to go out to eat tonight, which is a yes or no, you say, would you rather go to Olive Garden or Red Lobster, right? And it doesn't mean that they're going to say yes, but it does mean that on average over time, they're going to say yes way more total times. If you're telling your kid, hey, do you want to eat your vegetables? They're going to say no. If you say, do you want broccoli or green beans? They're going to pick one, right? And they still might throw a fit, but forced choice closes are applicable all over the place with employees, with sales, right? Before someone even says that they're going to hire you, you don't say, so what do you think? You want to sign up? No, that's bad. That's not a forced choice close. It's just a yes or no. Instead, you say, hey, when we come out to service your home, do you want to pay with a credit card or with a check? Either one works for me. Which one works best for you, right? Find ways to use either ors everywhere that you can.
This is dangerous because I will tell you, I'm going to give a shout out to my son, Tucker Latimer, who is dealing with puke tornado right now, but he is amazing. But he learned this skill from my husband, and he learned it from Alex Hermosi, so he's had a double dose of this. And I literally want to slow clap him sometime as I'm going through Starbucks drive-through because he forced choice closed me. Or we're getting Chipotle because he forced choice closed me. Would you like to, like even today, he's like, so can you pick me up either Chipotle or Fuzzies? I was like, yeah, I'll pick you up Chipotle. And I was like, wait a second. And
Gotcha.
I don't even know if this is the same thing, but yesterday we were at the grocery store. Maybe you'll tell me what closing this is. And he started loading like 5 yogurts into the cart. And I was like, what, this must be a different thing, sales tactic. probably learned it from the Jedi Master, Alex Ramosi. He's loading them all in. I said, whoa, 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 why are we getting so many yogurts? He goes, oh, I'm sorry. I said, just get like 1 or 2. He goes, and he smiles. He goes, yeah, I was going to ask you for the yogurts, but instead I just like put the yogurts in the cart, and then you just told me it was too many, so we still get yogurt. I only wanted 1, but now I get 2. And I was
The
like,
only bad thing he's doing is revealing the card trick every time he does it because he's so proud of it.
I'm proud of him
but
too.
then we know what he's doing. No, me too. It's very helpful.
I mean, when you're like, these are survival skills that your children need to know. Your children need to know sales skills because they also can see them when they're happening to them. Like, he can see different things happening, and so he's not going to get scammed. I can tell you that, and he's always going to have food on his table. Right?
Okay, ready for the next one?
I am so ready.
Okay, pointing feet pointing. This is a body language thing. It's a nonverbal body language signal that kind of tells you. So if you're talking to someone and their feet are pointed towards you, it means that they're engaged. They're here for it, right? Like you're pointing your feet towards me. That means you want me right now. No, but if people's feet are
totally
turning
want you right
against
now.
you while they're listening, what it means is that they want to get away from you. They don't want to listen to you anymore.
Drive me
It's
crazy.
really useful in social situations. You're hanging out with friends. You get these awkward conversations. If someone's body is just kind of turning away, especially if their feet are pointing away, it tells you they don't like what you're talking about or they're just all done with the conversation. It's useful, but it also tells you that when someone's talking to you and you don't want them to feel like you're not there for it, then point your feet towards them and engage, right? Super simple. Watch it with your employees during team meetings. Watch it with your kids when you're talking to them. Watch it with, anything. Have you ever even heard of that one, Ash?
I have never heard of this, but I am here for it. I
could
am
not do
going
that.
to do this everywhere.
Don't pull a hammy for our podcast.
I will pull a hammy for this podcast. I am dedicated, everybody.
Another one is a trick to know if people are affectionate towards each other. So this is kind of an investigative
No.
journalism technique. If you're in a crowd of people and something funny happens, what you do is you pay attention to who's looking at each other while they both laugh.
What?
When you laugh, you have a tendency to look at people you feel really connected with, or that you like, or that you love. Okay, so if we do a funny joke, we're all laughing and we look at each other because we're married and we're obsessed with each other, right? If you're in a crowd of people and you can see people like I'm
Is this when
picturing Maverick. He did not do this, so I'm not throwing him under the bus, but I can picture like Maverick if he's by a girl he likes and he's like, and he's like looking over at her. But right, it makes sense. You've seen this, right? You laugh and you're looking for like validation from the person you're connected to.
Is this why you get your feelings hurt when I don't laugh at your bad jokes?
I think the only reason you haven't laughed at certain jokes is because you must not have heard the whole joke, or you missed it, or you weren't listening carefully.
No. You just have some really bad jokes, and you're like, why aren't you laughing? I'm like, because it wasn't funny. But I'm still
Agree
looking
to
at you. I'm looking at you while you're laughing at your bad joke.
I like to laugh at my own jokes.
I know you do. Look at just there.
Because it's funny. Maverick, do I laugh at my own jokes a lot?
Yes.
What's your take on this?
Usually you get us to laugh at your jokes, and then if we don't laugh at your jokes, you force us to laugh at your jokes.
Wait. Force is strong language.
It is a strong language. Yeah.
How do I force you? How do I force you? How do I force you?
Mom can know this. Usually there's tension because it's like if we don't laugh, it'll be like, you know what? I think it's just because you're my dad. It just got this weird thing. I can't describe it.
Do you know what the word obligatory means, Maverick?
No.
You owe me
Describe
like
it.
an obligatory laugh, right? It's just part of being a son. You're supposed
No.
to
I
at
actually
least give me
do
a pity
that.
laugh at
What's
my jokes.
What's hilarious though is Josh is funny. Now I don't know if he's the funniest Latimer, so
I'd say so.
that
It's
vote is still
reserved for
out.
Finley.
Finley is freaking funny. Now Finley is really funny, but I will tell you, it's so funny because we hear Josh has a lot of. I'm more like quirky, witty, on my feet, funny. Josh is like got the same jokes he knows will hit right. They just don't hit in your family over and over again. But
like,
it's
8
so
jokes.
it's so fun because when we're in a group of new people and he makes his joke hit, I do laugh because I'm like, oh my gosh, that joke is funny. It just
Jokes
Is
do
it-
have a shelf life. I've learned that the hard way. They do. 10 years or so, and they're fatigued.
You're still using some that are like 20
I'm starting
years
to
old.
wonder if it's really the shelf life is like 6 months, but I just did
Keep
it for 10
going.
years. I'm starting to be away. Okay, so the next psychological tip has to do with adrenaline. If you want someone to
Oh.
basically imprint on you,
Can I
and-
stop for
no,
one thing?
No,
Okay.
we got to keep going.
No, it's so good.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good, and
The
it's
rabbit
about laughing.
trails, it's too much.
You were just mad because I said your jokes weren't funny.
No, I'm not mad. Please continue.
Okay, there was a French talk show. Maybe they can even look this back up. They rallied all these people in the same room who all had very unique laughs, and they said one thing, and then they all started to laugh, their funny laughs, and then everybody couldn't stop laughing because their laughs were all so crazy and contagious. It was hilarious.
Can
So
you give
I'm-
us an example, please, of one of the laughs?
I can't because the one guy, I was like, what is even happening? And they're all laughing. You can't even hear it. It's just a noise. And then they all start to stop. And there's just one who's like, and then they just
Wait.
start,
What was he like?
and then they all just start busting out laughing. And then it was crazy. It was like,
Tell everybody what you say to me often. You're like, would you still love me if I laughed like this? And then you do a weird thing. Do it.
I used to say that to my mom. Would you still love me if I look like this? But
No, you do this with me. The laugh thing. Why won't you do a weird laugh?
I
That's
can't do
not how you
it.
do it. You usually go.
I didn't want to do it in front of everybody. I was nervous. But
You wanted the rabbit trail.
here's
you
my
gotta own it.
question. No, here's my question about the psychological stuff. Will people laugh at a joke that's not funny? Because I feel like I'm your wingman, and when you do a joke that I'm like, I don't know if this is gonna hit right, I laugh at your joke, and I feel like I'm helping. So maybe people just, I think that's a psychological trigger. Like if I'm
What's your
laughing and
question?
you're laughing.
What's your question?
My s-
Or your claim?
Can you
I don't
can
get it.
you can if two people engage in laughing and we're looking at each other, can we encourage everybody to engage with us
100%.
with laughing?
Yeah, laughing is contagious. It's social. It depends on what percentage of the room is laughing. If you're the one person not laughing, then it puts social pressure on you. So the more people that laugh, the more pressure there is to laugh, or at least smile or pretend that you're laughing, right? That's how it works. Or if you're an important person, right? People laugh at their stupid crap they say all the time because they want to be like, oh, you're such a G. You know, they're fanboying or fangirling.
Have you ever had
But
that?
we're way in the weeds.
Okay,
We gotta
sorry.
land
It
the
was
plane.
funny. It was
okay,
funny.
the next one is
Sorry.
silence. Silent. Oh no, I didn't even say my other one. Adrenaline. Gosh, adrenaline. So if you want people to imprint on you like a werewolf in the movie Twilight, okay? If you want them to really like you, do things with people that create adrenaline. Okay, it's kind of almost like it reminds me of. That's too dark. I was going to talk about Stockholm syndrome. But how like people can like
No.
like their cat.
Keep
That's
it
not what I mean.
lighthearted.
But if you take someone on a date and you go on a roller coaster, they will like you more. Provably, they like you more. You get more units of I think I like this guy more. If there's adrenaline involved, it could be a sporting event. It could be anything that creates adrenaline or a high, action movie or any of that stuff. Actually, is a technique. You can do it with your employees. You can take them axe throwing. You can do things, have competitions, team bonding. That's not just words, but if there's adrenaline, is a psychological hack. The next one is silence, using silence more often. I'll just not say anything. I'll just leave that one out there for anyone in the room that wants to hear this one. Silence. If someone isn't telling you what you want to know, rather than continuously peppering them with questions and why won't you talk to me, why don't you talk to me, just be quiet. And you can also move closer to them. So if you move closer to someone and you're quiet and you look at them, they'll tell you stuff. And you can use this with employees all the time. Not in an intimidating way either. I don't mean like diabolical stuff. I just mean if an employee's frustrated and you say, well, tell me about that, and they start blaming, just sit there quiet and kind of look at them and nod. And just keep looking at it, and they'll just keep talking. And each time they talk after the silence, you get another layer of truth. And then sometimes you won't say anything, and by the end of the conversation, they're like, man, I'm sorry, I'm just having a bad day, right? So you go from total blaming, I'm a victim, it's not my fault, oh my God, it is my fault, I'm so embarrassed, I'm sorry. Hey, no problem, man, we all have a hard day. But using silence more often is a psychological tip. And then the last one is nodding while you're talking. This is a neuro-linguistic programming thing, I think, NLP. But when you're explaining something to someone, if you nod while you're doing it, they'll wind up nodding with you, which tells their brain that they agree with you, even if they haven't actually decided to agree with you yet. Right? Is that what you're doing right now?
Yeah, I'm
You
totally.
picking up what I'm throwing down, Ash? You
Uh-huh.
understand what I mean?
I was being silent. Could you tell I was being silent and nodding?
And that's why I just kept talking endlessly.
And I'm
right?
pointing my toes.
Yep.
You
Yep.
feeling my love?
And you laugh, make eye contact. Okay, so let's recap. We talked about Jeff Bezos' boat and $500 million, and is that good or bad? That's up for you to decide. We talked about the recession 2023, how you have to decide, decree, develop, and deploy your plan to prepare because there's danger ahead. It's real. We talked about wealthywinter.com, the merchant of death being traded for the WNBA lady, whatever her name is. Do you have any closing thoughts? Anybody? Jarrett, you haven't said much in a while.
I've been laughing back here.
Yeah?
Is that how you're gonna exit
yeah,
the
it's been good.
podcast?
You're gonna
At
laugh.
the very, very end.
Yeah. What,
But anyways, I would say, can I say something?
Yep.
There's something you didn't add on the psychological things.
Okay.
It's an
Well, there's
Ashleeism.
tons of them, but
Oh, I was
just
just
giving
making.
a sampling.
I was just inventing my own.
okay. What is it?
Well, dancing always brings people together. I would say the quirks. A lot of times people like to hide their quirks and not own up to them because they think it's embarrassing. But when we're trying to serve people or love people, it's more about them than it is about us. And so I would say that one thing that people like about me is that I'm quirky and I own it. And I'm just like, and I get people to laugh, and getting people to laugh at your quirks and not taking your quirks as an insecurity, but taking your quirks as a superpower. It's just my own. I just made it up. But
Basically, be yourself, or are you saying be intentionally silly?
no, I'm not saying being intentionally silly, but the things that are holding you back, you can use as a superpower. So like a lot of times I would go into masterminds or different things like that, and I would be like, like I gotta dress a certain way, I gotta look a certain way, and then it's like we all know what's gonna happen at lunchtime, babe. What's gonna happen at lunchtime at a mastermind?
You're gonna spill food on you.
I'm
at
gonna
some
steal
point.
food on myself, but you know what? I'm just gonna be like, "Well, that sushi hit a little right or hit a little wrong. I don't know." Like you just gotta like own it, and just instead of being like embarrassed and insecure, because probably every single person didn't notice the sushi, and then the ones that did, I just owned it. You know, it's just taking those little steps that hold you back from real conversations because you're trying to be perfect. Just kind of leaning into your quirks and your superpowers, like asking people a lot of questions. Like, I mean, I'm also the person who raised their hand in a mastermind about purple unicorns. So,
Well, Ash, if being clumsy with food was an Olympic sport, you would be a gold medalist. And with that, I'm going to close this out with prayer, if that's okay. You ready?
I am so ready.
Dear Lord God, creator of the universe, thank you for being you. Thank you for making us. Thank you for revealing that we are creators too because we're made in your image. And we're just so grateful that you've prepared good works for us before the foundation of the world. We're grateful that you've laid before opportunities for us to grow and expand and level up. Not that you need us to do anything, God, but it's our pleasure and honor and privilege to be able to participate in what you're going to do with or without us, God. I pray that you give us courage, especially as business owners, to take intelligent, calculated risk in faith and to not be reckless, God. Help us to prepare for the coming storm and be able to see the opportunities and not to live in fear. I pray specifically for all the Christian entrepreneurs out there that they get a dose of boldness going into this next year and to finish out this year, that they get a fire in their belly to figure out what you've called them to do and how they can use their business to that end. I pray that you equip us and empower us, God. And we give all the praise and glory to you because none of it matters at the end of the day outside of you, Jesus, and help us to glorify you in all of the silly business things that we do. In Jesus' name, we'll see you in the next show. Amen.
Amen.